I'm just going to get started here because I don't really have that much time, and my intent is was just to kind of share some of what I was seeing in the charts today, since I'm looking to buy, and so I just wanted to share with folks. Oh, great, thanks, Joe. There must be a delay. So I just wanted to share what I'm seeing. First of all, I wanted to show you something about, so each of these blue vertical lines is the halving. And so most people are aware we just went through a halving in May. But I just want you to look at what happens right at the halving. And this is weekly. So this is what happens on the weekly chart. If you notice, the halving, we get these pumps, right? We get a nice pump here. This pump was, I believe, if I remember right, 7,000%. 14,000% top to bottom, all right? And then the next halving, we got, I'll get into some details about what's going on right now today in a minute, but we got 3,000% out of that, right? And now here we are at our next halving. You can see, if this plays out like the other years, we're just getting started. I mean, we've only pumped 197%. Even if we were to go to, let's say we only get 1,000% out of this pump, then we should be looking at a price of around $100,000. I keep hearing this $100,000 number, and the more I look at the charts and the more I look at things, the more it makes sense to me. Let me see if these show up on the daily. I forget if I have these on the daily. They do. I don't know if I can squeeze it in enough to make sense. So you can see, right? This is the last halving. Same thing, right? This isn't going to change. It's still going to be about a 2,000, right? So even if we're looking at 1,000% gain, we've still got 800. We've got a ways to go, right? That takes us to 100,000. So everything I see here, and then the other thing to note is these last about a year, roughly, right? So last halving July 16, maybe 2 years, right? We went to 2018, took the crash, right? The previous one would have been 2012, right? We went up until 2013, November 2013, July 2012. So that's a little over a year, right? So I expect we're going to get the same thing out of this one, a year. So you know, don't be nervous, right? Don't be nervous. We're going to have some ups and downs. There's been huge, you can't see these if we get into them. These are 40% drops in here in these bull runs. This is typical of Bitcoin, right? So this was a 40, looks like a 47% drop, right? From top to bottom here. Well, I'm not doing a very good job, but greater than 30%, right? So all of these are going to be the same, right? 37%, right? So I'm just saying, don't get nervous. And I wanted to point that out before I show you something. I'm going to show you today what we're looking at today. Let me zoom in a little bit. And the other thing to notice is when Bitcoin runs like this, so these are the moving averages, a 20, 50, 100, 200. The weekly one, this white one's a little bit different. I'll explain that. But I just want you to notice what happens when Bitcoin runs, right? So when it runs, we get above the 20-day moving average and we dip down and hit it. To me, this is a dip, right? These pullbacks, these little pullbacks from 28 to 26, that's not a dip. That's just a little pullback. Again, here in this run, look at this run. So we stay above the 20, we touch it. Stay above the 20, touch it, we dip below it a little bit. But we generally just come down and touch the 20. When you start crossing the 20 or 50, if you're a trader, maybe it's time to get out, right? Maybe it's time to think about taking a little bit of profits if you're not getting out. Again, this bull run here, we stayed above the 20, we dip down a little bit, then we get back above the 20, and Bitcoin almost never breaks this. This is a 20-day weekly, right? Almost never breaks that. Anyway, so for today, and the reason I got into this today is because I'm looking to buy. I went and sold Well, I was supposed to sell my gold and silver today. I went to the bank to get in my safety deposit box, and they wouldn't let me in there, right? I apparently have to make an appointment now because of COVID and all this nonsense. It just really pissed me off. That's my fucking money, right? I'll be able to get it. Anyway, so when we're talking about a pullback, when I'm talking about a dip, I'm expecting a dip down to the 20 moving average. And if that were to happen, we're talking about 23,000, right? So that's a nice dip. That to me is a dip. When we pull back to one of these, to this 20-day moving average, right? This is the kind of dip or pullback I'm looking for. So if that happens, you can expect to be about 23,000. And I want to point this out too. There's some consolidation in here, right? This is also around the 23,000. So this is what I would expect, right? If people are saying, oh, we're going to pull back at 30, if that really happens, I'm going to expect it to come down to about 23,000, and that's where I'd be looking to buy. If that doesn't happen in the next few days, I'll probably just buy anyway because I'm long term, right? And it doesn't matter too much to me. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. And then this white line, this is a 20 period weekly moving average. The thing to note about that, let me look at the weeklies. The thing to note about that is that's the only type I would really get nervous, right? Again, Bitcoin in a bull run stays well above the 20. In fact, Bitcoin for its whole life, for most of its life, if you look, it tends to stay above that, right? So even all the way back here, when it gets below it, it's very bearish. But in our bull runs from the halving, never crosses it, except here it comes down a little bit, right? So if you're trading and you're cautious and you don't have a 3 to 5 year timeline, right, and you need to be getting out, this is what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for something to come down and touch this weekly 20-day as a signal to get out. But you got to play your own plays, right? You got to do your own thing. Look again here in the bull runs, it's never really getting below this 20-week moving average, 20 period weekly moving average, that white line, right? Until it's really time to get out. Once it hits that and crosses below it, you get a closing candle below that line. It's telling you maybe you need to get out. So this was a good signal. We lost 73%. That was a 73% pullback just from the line, right? So if you were in this whole time, you have nice profits, and if you get out at the line or just below the line, you're talking about a 30% pullback. That's scary because Bitcoin has 30% pullbacks all the time. It's not a big deal, right? But when you see it get down below this line, you might want to be cautious. However, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon here on this. And that's what I wanted to point out, is that when these people are talking about pullbacks and dips and whatnot, to me, that's coming back to one of these lines on the daily. I'm on the weekly. So to me, that's going to be coming back to this 20-day moving average at least, which is at 23,000. So don't freak out, right? That's normal. We always come back and touch the 20-day moving average, right? That's what tells you when you're in a bull run. You're up above that average, and then you come down and you touch it a little bit. Okay, maybe you're going to go sideways for a while. Anyway, so this is what I expect. If we really do have a nice pullback at 30, it may come back to around 23. May even come back down to 20 to this 50-day, right? Because we've had a huge parabolic pump. I mean, this thing has been insane, right? This isn't, I don't know, that's not very sustainable. So it may want to do a nice pullback, but there's some resistance on the weekly. That'd be to 17,000, but on the daily, there's some nice resistance in here. So and with all the institutions involved now, I don't expect that. I would expect a pullback to 23, maybe to 20, and there's good support here at 20. And institutions seem to be buying all the dips, right? So Another thing to notice is on the stochastic, we have crossed the signal line. We're pointing down. However, the MACD says we're still in a bull run. So the stochastic to me just kind of shows cycles, right? I expect it to move up. It can stay above this line for long periods of time, then move down, then move up. It can do that the whole time in a run up, right? So you got to be mindful of the stochastic. It really just kind of points out cycles, not as much trends, right? MACD gives us a nice picture of the trend. This divergence here tells me that Bitcoin should have come down, but it didn't, right? It just bounced that line and came back up. That divergence where MACD's coming down and the price isn't. So it didn't come down, but it did go sideways, right? So these are telling. Right now, this doesn't say that Bitcoin's going to pull back. It may. This blue line's starting to pull down and roll over. It may. And again, if it does, it's going to come back probably to 23 or wherever the 20-day is. And if it gets past the 20-day, it might get down here to the 50-day at 20,000. Either way, there's so much support right now for Bitcoin. And like I said, if you look at how other halvings have worked, we're just getting started. I mean, this is just in its infancy post-halving, right? So we should have a good year of this kind of run. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, knock on wood. Dollar's tanking all the time. The other thing I want to talk about, and ETH looks exactly the same. I won't get into this. This is a mess. So it's in a good position too. Everything's pointing up for ETH still. If it has a pullback, it'll probably pull back to the 20-day. And then the last thing I want to mention was Link, because I've been real bullish on Link before. I was real bullish. We talked about it all the time. Everybody in the group was bullish. However, that FUD came out from Zeus Capital, which is fake. They're a bullshit company. But Zeus Capital, this FUD that came out a few days ago or last week or whenever it was, I poo-pooed it. I was like, because the last time, Zeus Capital is completely fake. And the last time they did this, the price went down in Link, and then a few days or a couple weeks later, I forget, maybe 3 weeks, it exploded. Well, it turns out that FUD was most likely created and published by Link insiders trying to get a better price before a leg up. I figured when I saw that this time that's the same thing. However, looking into it a bit more, the FUD was about the possibility of Chainlink being in the same position as XRP. I don't think that's true. I didn't bother to do too much research. I just got out of the Link, right? We hit the high of Link in the 20s somewhere, and I was lucky enough to get out in 20. I held about 400 coin. I sold it recently, right? I'm not gonna. There's no reason to try to deal with the FUD and second guess whether they're going to be in trouble or not, because it's a Bitcoin bull run. It's an Ethereum bull run, right? There's other stuff you can put your money into. You don't have to leave it in Link, and I just didn't feel like taking that risk. However, Link had an ICO, right? I forgot about that. I think they had an ICO just like, XRP, an initial coin offering. That's something you do with a security, an IPO, ICOs, right? And so I started thinking that maybe there was something a little bit to this FUD. So I would encourage you, if you are a Link holder and bullish on Link, that you might want to you might want to do a little research. You might want to look into that a little bit, and if you can, you might just want to move your funds. I mean, let's see Link compared to BTC. Link to Bitcoin. Also, you want to see it's moving down against Bitcoin. So why keep it? Ditch it and put it into Bitcoin, right? Because we know Bitcoin's going up. So it was doing well against Bitcoin all the way up until the 16. It hit in August, and I thought they hit. I thought they hit that again recently. Oh, this is the Chainlink to Bitcoin ratio. So anyway, Link has been moving down against Bitcoin since August, and so it may look good in dollars, but really, if it's moving down against Bitcoin, then it's better to have your money in Bitcoin or something else that's moving, favorably. So let's see if we can get Link ETH. We can. So it's moving down against Ethereum too, right? If we look at other things like maybe Cell BTC, because Cell is kind of pumping right now, it's moving favorably to Bitcoin. So Celsius is moving up and gaining value faster than Bitcoin at this point. So again, with the link, I'm not telling you what to do. This isn't financial advice, but to me, with the FUD that's going on around Link, maybe it's just not worth staying in it, right? And it's certainly not making gains against Bitcoin, and that's what you want. Even if it does appear to be moving up against the dollar, if it's not moving up against Bitcoin, who cares? And see, it's moving kind of sideways against the dollar. But in my mind, not worth it. Maybe it is to you, and that's fine. I'm just putting it out there because we were so bullish on Link. I'm still bullish on Link if they don't have an issue with this SEC stuff like XRP is. One more thing about XRP and that what is it? XMR Stellar. I believe Stellar also had an ICO. I've heard other guys talk about this. Some of the other people who do videos and stuff on Facebook, on YouTube, talking about Stellar might be at risk. I think Stellar did an ICO, but also one of the founders of XRP that is or would be in trouble if he was still part of it has moved on to Stellar. And the guy's kind of bounced around a bunch of different projects. It just seems a little scammy to me. But let's see if we can see what XLM is doing against Bitcoin. I'm really pissed. I went to sell all my gold and silver today. So that's the other thing. I don't know if I was going to sell it all, but I was going to sell half my silver at least. I went to the bank today. They wouldn't give it to me. They wouldn't let me into my safe deposit box, talking about I have to make an appointment because of coronavirus. I got to fill out some form. Made me so mad, right? What if I had an emergency? What if I was about to lose my house and I needed that money? They want me to come back on Saturday? Are you fucking kidding me, man? Wells Fargo, what a joke. Anyway, I think this is a guy that's coming over to look at some work I want done on my house. But so this is all I had for the video. I just wanted to update you guys on those things. I'm going to go and take this call. But much success to everybody. Have a great day. Hope you're enjoying the holidays. And hopefully I'll get back to making videos soon. Thanks. Have a great day.